Welcome to Access a Trader, the #1 community for those who are committed to taking control of their trading in order to achieve success, profitability, and longevity. Thank you for joining us. Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey everybody, good morning guys, and welcome to another edition of the AccessATrader.com weekend update show. Hope everybody is doing well. It is 9 o'clock in the morning, actually 9:30 to be precise. Figured, let's get this out of the way, right? So I can enjoy this beautiful weekend while we still have warm weather, because apparently school starts in a month. Isn't it amazing how quickly summer has gone? So hopefully everybody is doing great and living your best life. If you are brand new to trading, guys, you've been watching the channel or follow me on social media for years and years and years, and you can't get that going, right? You just can't get your career up started because you're trading the same stocks as everybody else and the same time frame as everybody else and all that good stuff, and you're a little bit struggling and you're having some issues, guys. All you have to do is, in my opinion, I think you got to try everything in trading to kind of figure out what's your best fit. Options, futures, small caps, mid caps, large caps, whatever the case might be. Again, one size does not fit all. But if you guys been following along and you are interested, Kenya will drop a discounted, really deep discounted monthly link. Try it out for 30 days. All it takes is 30 days to see if it's a right fit for you. Again, it's nobody's secret. I've been kind of not really hiding it. I do not believe pivots are for everybody. But if it's something that fits your personality, fits something that you can get mentally behind, it's pretty neat. It really is pretty neat. And all it takes is 30 days to see if it's a right fit for you. So click the link below and I will see you next week in the webinar. So guys, let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about it. Another week, another pretty much, record high for the NASDAQ 100. We continue to melt up despite more tariff talks, Trump issuing an additional 15% of tariffs on EU imports. The word tariff, at some point you start just getting really dumbfounded to it. It's like, when you kept on hearing the word COVID, coronavirus, is after a while like, who cares already? And that's the way I think the market has been interpreting it for the last, 2-3 weeks. Every time we hear the word tariff, it doesn't even ring the register anymore. It doesn't even move the needle. We just continue to grind higher. As we've been watching these videos, it's been going in and out of different groups, rotation. Bitcoin has been obviously the poster boy of this melt up, exaggerated rally, kind of speculation money filled, hovering today, as we speak today, it's around 19,000. 119,000, doing incredibly well. As you saw, anything internet related, or Bitcoin related or crypto related, has been going absolutely gangbusters. Look at Circle. Look at Circle. This stock is just out of its mind. Completely out of its mind. It's gone literally from its IPO debut from $64 in June to, $200, man. It was high as, topping out in the nearly $300. It's been an incredible Bitcoin, Coinbase, MSTR ride. Has been pretty much taking everything related. So it's been very, very, very incredible move for a lot of new traders, a lot of speculation money in this melt up environment. On the other side, right? The chief of Apollo, his chief economist, turned around and said, well, all this Bitcoin, all this AI nonsense is a bubble, right? Go back to .com. All right, you want to look back at .com, and .com is still here to stay. So I completely disagree. AI is here to stay. More companies, more smaller to mid-sized companies are using it every single day. And ironically, 5 years from now, you're going to see a headline: the chief economist of Apollo gets thrown out on his keister because he's being replaced by AI. So AI is here to stay. It's not a bubble. It's ridiculous to even say it's a bubble. I'm an old head, and I still believe in the idea that it's much more efficient for technology to do the job of 10 people, and much more cost effective. It's sad but true. That's kind of the new world we live in. but AI is here to stay. And this is why AI companies are really, really thriving. And again, all you need to do is look at the particulars in this AI space, NVIDIA and PLTR, and, there's 1,000 other names, but it is here to stay. And you can't really compare AI to the dot-com bubble, because the internet was this thing that people didn't know what to do with, right? It was like, oh, it's cute. We could just go online and and buy stuff. AI, people kind of getting it, right? People getting it. Whether you're 12 years old or you're 52 years old or anything in between, you're kind of getting the potential of AI, and it's making a lot of things easier, cost effective, and faster. And that's the name of the game. Other than that, again, market continues to melt, right? Melt. A lot of participants are still on vacation. Whether you're in Martha's Vineyard or the Hamptons or the Shore or anywhere else in between that you vacation, the market continues to hum. I think a lot of traders have been betting against the market are very, very frustrated, because for them, it doesn't make sense. And for me, it doesn't make sense, is making sense. The market's not supposed to make sense. In case in point, Netflix, right? Netflix, they had a really good quarter. They beat the top, they beat the bottom, right? Their raise guidance, and they were down 4%. It's not because they were a horrible company or it doesn't make sense. Well, because Netflix had a run from April from $821 to almost $1,340. Again, the market does not, guys, always remember, the market does not need a reason to take a stock up or down. It just doesn't have to. The faster you understand that, the faster you can get into your head that it doesn't make a difference what you think is rational or not rational, the market's going to play out that way. And this is why I very rarely look at news on the surface. I look at the market reaction to news. So for company, for example, like a Tesla, and that's a pretty good segue. So for example, if a Tesla, right, comes out with really crappy delivery numbers and the stock goes up 10 points, guess what? That's bullish, right? I don't care about the delivery numbers being bad. The market has spoken. The jury has spoken. The people has spoken. So don't look at the market as rational or irrational. That's the whole point. The market does whatever it wants to do, and price action is always going to be the judge, jury, and execution. Speaking of Tesla, right? Netflix obviously kicked off earnings, right, for technology. Tesla and Google are coming out on Wednesday, I believe. And finally, Tesla has broken out, right? Finally, we are above the 50-day moving average. We closed above the 150-day moving average. And now we have 2-3 days for a potential really big aggressive run-up on Tesla into earnings. Your guess is as good as mine what the earnings will detail. But now that we are above the 50-day moving average, and again, all you need to do is look at the last time we got back above the 50-day moving average was on June the 9th. It put up a massive, let's just use 3 days, right? Let's just use 3 days because Tesla's coming out earnings in 3 days. So look what it did the next 2 days. Tesla broke out on June the 9th, and it literally went from 309 for the next 3 days to 335, right? That's my point. So here is day one above the 50-day moving average. Let's see, right? Let's see how far and aggressive Tesla can push prior to earnings. But this is obviously a very, very important close on Tesla on Friday. And if the market continues to act well, Tesla should hopefully get a nice 2-3 day run ahead of earnings. So that looks really, really good. Again, buyers were very, very aggressive off the 50-day moving average, and yada, 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 closed within $1 or so of the highs. Google also reports on Wednesday as well. Not as aggressive as a run-up as everything else, but slow and steady, right? Slow and steady. We've been talking about all of last week. The 185 call buyers that came in for this past week's expiration, you can tell, well, they got paid off. Stock went to 86.40s. Again, guys, always remember the options market, right? If I had to do it all over again, and forget about the PS60 theory and this, that, and the third, I would literally start my career of getting an option scanner. It doesn't make a difference which one you use. I use, for example, Flow Algo. There's a million of them. They're all pretty much comparable. They range from like $150 to like $400, whatever the case may be. And just watch the option order flow. The more It's the same formula all the time, over and over and over again. It's literally the same formula. We'll get to the pivots in a second. It's literally the daily chart gets confirmed, and you get repeat option buyers, right, in that direction over and over and over again with short-term expiration. There's a high probability that the stock will perform to where the options market is betting. If you watch these videos, every day, you kind of see the stocks we talk about with the option flow. They do pretty well, right? That's the whole point. That's the formula, and that's something that I really deep dive into the webinar, and that's how we trade these pivots. So let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about Friday. Let's talk about Friday again. Here's a scenario. We talked about Circle, and Circle's a wild stock, man. We talked about Circle, 244.80. Needs to confirm. Circle put in a sick move at the open. Really, really sick move. CRCL. Here is look at the open move, right? Look at the open move. And look what happened after, right? So here is the 248, right? Here's the 244.80. It got above that and went all the way up to 263. Put up a massive, massive move, and then obviously everything just tanked. But again, the point is we're not trying to guess the closing prices. We're just trying to win our interval. You got a $15 move on Circle at the open. Really, really big move. RGTI, we've been talking about this for a couple of days. 1717 needs to confirm on RGTI, right? So RGTI just keeps on melting, right? Just keeps on melting. It's holding up fairly well. It's still on this area here. It's still due for another expansion day. Usually a stock, when it puts up a big move, a cartoonish-like move like it did on July the 16th, and it starts going sideways, the longer it can go sideways, the higher probability it will jam up. So there should be one more exaggerated move in the stock as long as the market holds up. On RGTI, QBTS, I wasn't even watching QBTS. 1976 needs to confirm. I have no idea. I'm seeing it for the first time here with you guys. Didn't confirm. There you go. That's why I didn't see it. I still like this thing, guys. Keep an eye on this thing above the May highs. This QBTS still looks really, really good inside day. Actually, I'm going to add this to our weekend watch list. So keep an eye on this QBTS. That's why I didn't see it, because it didn't trigger. That's cool. That's fine. Tesla, again, here was the big one on Tesla. Notable reload sell the last couple of days. Let's see if they finally clean them up. 324.65 needs to confirm yesterday's pre-market highs. And you can see after a little bit of a hiccup, Tesla finally started going and closed within $1 of the highs, finally reclaiming back the 50-day moving average. This looks really good, man. If the market, again, just doesn't die, like if the market just literally doesn't die, we should see it. We could see it in pretty big move in the next couple of days. Again, fingers crossed. We'll see what happens there. Let me see what else here. Soon didn't confirm. Microsoft had a brief spike into the 14, 15, but really didn't do anything. CRWV continues to get murdered. If you've been watching the video for the last couple of days, there's been downside channels to this thing throughout the week. The latest one came in Friday. 130, 130s. If it builds below, can see a 50-day watch, right? That's the point. That's the point, guys. CRWV, it washed through the 50 days. So it took out the 130, 134. It also took out the 7-11 lows of 125. And this is now the lowest close in the whole formation. First close below the 50-day moving average. And if there is weakness in the market, and this is why we're always prepared on both sides, if there is weakness in the market and it loses, right? It loses this 50-day EMA, because it already lost the 50-day SMA. If it starts losing the 50-day EMA, you can get a whole swan dive all the way down to $107, which is the next support zone, which is the 65-day EMA. So congratulations for all you guys who caught CRWV on Friday. MP, right? Here's another example, folks, of option flow, right? They started coming for near-term expiration for the 65s, the 70s. We even saw some 90s for a little bit longer out. 62.87 needs to confirm recent highs. So here was MP, right? MP took out the 62.87, traded as high as 64.50s. This thing still looks pretty good going into next week. And I believe that is it, right? I believe that is it. So let me give you guys some ideas for next week, and then I will let you guys go. Enjoy this beautiful weather. until we meet each other again. So let me give you guys some ideas. Tesla, again, has to be the number one idea going into Monday. If it could confirm Friday's highs, I mean, we have room. We have a lot of rooms. You can see where the next supply zone is. So keep an eye on that. IONQ looks pretty good as well. IONQ has been having a pretty big base. You got to see a little bit of option flow coming in. But if it could confirm the May base, right? May supply, this thing could start next leg up. That looks really, really good. As we talked about a few minutes ago, CRWV, all it takes is one more nudge off this cliff and loses the 50-day EMA, and this thing has more downside ahead of that, so I like that as well. A speculation name that looks pretty good is STEM. Look at the expansion volume, right, guys? We always talk about it on the videos, expansion volume. Folks, look at the expansion volume on STEM. This thing, if it can just get above the June highs and confirm Friday's price action, you could have a day two. I'm assuming the float is lower there. So if you are into these speculation names, definitely keep an eye on STEM above Friday's channel. And last but not least is AES. AES continues to build a very, very super tight flag. All it needs to do is get back above the flag. Again, the longer it continues to build sideways, the higher probability it'll start its next leg up. So that's it, guys. So if you are interested in pivots, folks, again, Kenyon will put a tremendously discounted link for a monthly 30-day kick the tires run. If you like what we're doing, if you like what we're seeing, you think it's the right fit for you, come aboard. Come aboard, ask a lot of questions, watch the workshops, and hopefully something will click. Guys, have a great night, everybody. Have a great weekend. And with God's help, I will see you all on Monday. Take care.